Welcome to the Simply Imperfect Podcast. If you're on the hunt for perfection, you may want to keep looking because we are imperfection at its finest around here. However, if you're looking to have conversations covering the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between about life, you've come to the right place. We not only embrace life's imperfections around here, we celebrate them. So for those of you who've decided to join us on this journey, go grab yourself a beverage, sit down, settle in, and let's get started. Welcome back to the Simply Imperfect Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about weight. And I know this can be an incredibly tough conversation to have. However, if you're somebody who follows me on any of my social medias, you know my weight loss journey is something I talk about often. It's actually the reason the Simply Imperfect brand was born, was because it was what I settled on for the Instagram handle for the page on which I was going to share my weight loss story. And when I started my weight loss journey, I decided that I was going to make this Instagram page not just a highlight reel. I was going to show all the aspects of my life, not just my weight loss journey. And I've tried really hard to hold myself to that standard. But weight and weight loss and weight gain and wherever you stand on the spectrum of weight can be an incredibly hard conversation to have. And this topic was really triggered on, I am in a Facebook group that is all full of women. And usually it's a really inspiring and uplifting group of women. One day last week, while scrolling through Facebook, a picture that was posted in this group showed up on my feed. Now, the picture was a screenshot from Instagram of a photographer's page, and this photographer had done a session with a woman who was extremely heavy. When I tell you I was disappointed in the conversation and the comments, I feel like that is a complete understatement to how I felt reading it. Because let me tell you something, no matter where you fall on the weight spectrum, whether you're severely overweight, severely underweight, or a perfect weight, or anywhere in between the three, you are aware of your weight. And it is nobody's responsibility to be cruel to you about it. Because if you are on either side of a healthy weight, there's nothing anyone is going to say to you that you don't already know. And I know people who are underweight deal with their own type of cruelty out there, but I'm going to address the overweight portion because it's what I have experience with and it's what this post was about. And there were lots of comments on the post about body positivity and how many felt the body positivity movement was unhealthy, which absolutely shocked me because I do not believe anyone believes the body positivity movement has anything to do with supporting unhealthy weight, no matter what side of the spectrum that weight may be. The body positivity movement is a movement that shows that you are worthy no matter where you are at your weight. The body positivity movement, to me, was born out of the 1990s, where the idea of beauty was what we saw on the runways with the supermodels. And not everyone is that way. Not everyone has the perky breasts and the perfect hourglass figure. But just because you don't have that, and you don't have incredibly long legs, and you have the mom pooch, or you're someone like me who has incredibly wide hips even when I'm skinny, and broad shoulders, that those features are still beautiful and you are worthy exactly how you are. It doesn't mean supporting unhealthy weight habits, but it also doesn't give anybody the right to pass judgment on somebody that is in a classification that you feel is unhealthy. because there is nothing that you as a keyboard warrior can type on a social media post that is going to make a light bulb go on off in that person's head. And it's like, I never knew that being overweight was unhealthy. Maybe I should do something about it. Trust me, they're aware of it. The only thing your post does is make them feel more insecure. It feeds the self-doubt that is already inside their head and can paralyze people from making progress. Because who knows, that person that you were critiquing on that post may be somebody who did this photo shoot because they've lost weight and they were celebrating it. Could you imagine being critical of somebody who is celebrating a weight loss goal just because they hadn't reached the point at which you deem them healthy and worthy? Now imagine passing judgment on somebody, having cruel and evil things to say about them coming across your comments, and it just paralyzes them because they realize all of the progress they've made, they still aren't worthy of your approval. And I know, I came out of the generation where we were told, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But let's face it, words hurt. And I can even share a personal experience. I started my weight loss journey in December of 2018. And in the spring of 2019, I went to a new doctor because I had moved. So I was attempting to establish care with a local provider. And one of the only things this provider ever discussed with me was my weight. And at the time, I was still heavier than I needed to be. However, I had lost 15 pounds at this point. It actually might have almost been 20. And he was so critical of my weight. And when I explained that I understood that I was at an unhealthy weight, but I had been making progress, and I explained that I had lost weight, instead of acknowledging my progress, he informed me that he wanted me to lose a certain amount of weight before my next appointment. That amount of weight equaled out to 5 pounds a week. And if you talk to anybody, anything over 2 pounds a week is unhealthy. I remember walking out to my car and just being absolutely devastated. Here I was, I had worked so hard for every pound I had lost. And instead of being commended for the fact that I was doing something about my weight, I was told I wasn't doing enough. To be honest, if I didn't have the support system I had, it would have derailed me. It was everything I could do to not binge eat on some kind of comfort food, to buy something on my way home and just give up. Because words that are defeating are hard to get past. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is exactly how they should be in every aspect of their health, but no one deserves to be called out and degraded on it on social media. You don't know what somebody is dealing with. Their medical issues, their personal struggles, their lifestyle, none of that is stuff that you know or understand. So unless somebody asks for your opinion or your input, it is not your place. I know there's a lot of people out there who will disagree with me on this, but just the act of posting on social media does not mean that you are given the permission to be critical, cruel, or rude about somebody. Everybody's biggest insecurity isn't front and center, but for somebody who is struggling with their weight, it is. It's the only thing they can see. It's the only thing they believe you can see. And it's a long road to fix it, to become a healthy weight. It takes a lot of time and determination. And imagine if your comment derailed somebody. Because what you're saying isn't something they don't already know. Trust me, they've said it to themselves worse, and you don't need to pile on the crap. So if you're someone who is struggling with your weight, know that you have a supporter in me. I am here to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm here to be your biggest supporter and the muscle behind you when someone's being mean. Because you can do this. You can get past any of the struggles that you have in your life, and you can make progress. And anybody who says anything else about you can fuck off. You heard me. And I said what I said, and I mean it. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Simply Imperfect Podcast. If you've enjoyed and don't want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe. If you'd like to help the podcast out, make sure to leave us a rating and review while you're at it. To keep up to date with all things Simply Imperfect and to join our mailing list, head on over to @simply.imperfect on Instagram. And until next time, folks, make sure to embrace this simple imperfection that we call life.